Warning. The Savage Nation contains adult language, adult content, psychological nudity. Listener discretion is advised. And now, America's most exciting radio talk show, The Savage Nation, home of unprotected talk, borders, language, culture. And here he is, Michael Savage.
And you're listening to The Savage Nation. This is John DePietro sitting in for the one and only Dr. Michael Savage. Invite you to join the program. You can do that by calling in 1-855-400-SAVAGE, 1-855-400-7282. Remember the website, michaelsavage.com. Do you have a copy of Government Zero? What a tremendous book. As a matter of fact, right now it is absolutely shot up to number 3 on the bestseller list. Government Zero by Dr. Michael Savage. Pick it up now. Order it off the website. It gives you insight as to what's going on. It gives you insight to the Obama White House. It gives you insight to the war on ISIS. It is a must-read, makes a great holiday gift. Government Zero, available at michaelsavage.com, where you can also get the latest news and headlines. If you're a fan of the doctor, now is the time to go to the website, michaelsavage.com, and especially make sure you order Government Zero. Well, as you know, there's been a great debate going on right now about illegal immigration. It has certainly been front and center in the race for president. And there's a new video that is out. And I want you to understand that this group that has put together this video, Deport Racism, what they're attempting to do is influence you that these are people that should live in your neighborhoods. These are people that should attend school with your children. And I want you to listen to some of it, and most of it we can't play because it's not acceptable and it's not family friendly. Now, it's aimed at Donald Trump, but what they don't understand, Deport Racism, is where do you hear the language where they have young kids on video swearing, using profanity, obscenities, and this is an attempt to try to convince us that they should be living in your neighborhood, in my neighborhood, attending our schools? Are these the people you would want on the ball fields? Now, of course, you can't blame the kids. Of course, what do you expect? These are the parents that teach them. Let's break the law. Let's invade this country. Let's go live for things are free. Let's not pay taxes. Healthcare, it all should be free. So the name of this video is Deport Racism. This is a little part. Let's listen to it.
Hola, Donald Trump. Screaming, get out of my country. Republicans use offensive words.
So here's a few of our own.
F*** you, racist.
We're Latino kids born in the USA.
And we've got something to say.
I'm Rosa.
I'm Ricardo. My friends call me Rick. But you keep calling me Anchor, baby?
Wow. Racist. When you say Mexican immigrant,
a rapist, murderers, and drug dealers,
you know it's racist code for words like
and
you have attacked people
for speaking Mexican in this nation.
It's Spanish, idiota.
Maybe a little less hairspray and more education. Millions of working Latinos would be deported.
If you get your logo way in the White House for America, it would be nothing but
bad hair days. Yo, Trump, you may be high in the polls.
Thanks to change your racist suckers, but you're all going to have to come from me.
If you try to deport my abuelita, you see the Constitution.
Let's hear it right there. You get a sense of it. Again, that is the latest video, or that is a video, I should say, Deport Racism. Now, you can't see it, but there's a little girl, I'm going to guess, maybe 9 years old, this little boy. Let me ask you, at 1-855-400-SAVAGE, is it acceptable for young kids? It's so horrible. Is it acceptable for young kids to be using that type of language? This is the ultimate. Boy, you can take the illegal out of the third world hellhole, but you can't take the third world hellhole out of the illegal. Are these the people that you want living in your neighborhoods? Are these the kids that you want attending school alongside your children? This is what they're teaching them. But, why should we be surprised? Now, they can attack Trump, but I want you to look at that and listen. And it's more as they're attacking all of us. Don't you agree? just because you're against illegals living here and you want them deported like most people do, that does not make you a racist. This is not about people living in the country legally. This is, how many times have we said, this is about people in here illegally. That's what this is about. And to put out a video like that and have these young kids dancing around, would you teach your children to swear in a video at someone that might be the President of the United States? How is that acceptable? That you would have young kids using that type of language. That does not make you a racist if you want to enforce the immigration laws. I think it's a disgrace. Is this how these people raise their children? What do we keep hearing? It's about the children. It's about you can't break up families. And this is how they treat their children? Is this how they treat their young children? We're learning that more than 81,000 unoccupied minors have been released to sponsors inside the U.S., according to the Department of Health and Human Services. What an absolute disgrace. But should we be surprised that this is how they raise their children? And if you're listening and you're either an illegal or Mexican descent, is this how you teach them to talk to adults, to talk to someone that might be the President of the United States? That this is how you talk to us, the Americans, by using foul language like that? And then in the video, both the boy and the little girl are doing the table for one salute. What an absolute disgrace. That group, absolutely disgraceful. What do you think? 1-855-400-7282. And they're dancing around. The little boy, how old would you say the little boy is? I'm going to guess the little boy, he seems like he's maybe 12 or 13. Sticking the finger up, table for one salute. Hey, Trump, you're a blank and blank. These are the people. They're trying to make an argument that they want to come in here. But should we be surprised since their parents don't follow the law and decide they're going to live wherever they want to live? Let's start off with line 3 is Michelle, who's listening on WABC in New York. Michelle, you're up first. This is John DePietro, and you're on the Savage Nation. Hello, Michelle.
Hi. I just wanted to say I think it's a disgrace, and I think this is what we all have to start thinking about. If you don't like it here, then you have to leave, and you have to have a passion and a love for this country. Period. That's it.
Well, Michelle, do you have children, Michelle?
I do.
Would you want your children, I don't know how old they are, but let's just say, when your children were, say, 9 or 10, would you allow them to associate and hang around with kids that use that type of foul language?
My kids have had to hang around with kids like this, and it's changing the texture of this country. And it's not to say that American kids legal American kids are also not obnoxious, but you don't need to encourage that type of demeanor. We need to be encouraging the stature that we want this country to resemble. And you certainly can't be going around to other countries when this country has to shape up. We have to stand high and tall and proud and stop lowering the bar. And if this is how people feel about any American and disgracing Donald Trump, that he isn't as well educated as anyone else, that's not what we want.
But Michelle, thank you for the call, Michelle, but you're being too kind. This is completely unacceptable. Did you ever talk that way to your grandparents? Would you ever talk that way to your teacher or a baseball coach or someone else using that type of language? We'll play again a little bit of a video, but it's a brand new video that is out. And they're the thing is that I want to point out, as much as they're naming Trump, it's really aimed at all of us. It's all of us who agree with Trump. Everyone listening right now. You want to enforce the borders. You want to enforce the law. This deport racism. This is aimed at you. And they're giving you. They have their children even. Not even adults. Children. Giving you the table for one salute and saying, yeah, go, guess what? Blank you. We're going to do whatever we want. Boy, doesn't this fit in with the narrative? Of course it. I mean, should we really be surprised? 1-855-400-SAVAGE. Let's go to line 1. Anna is listening on WMAL in Washington. Anna, you're up on the Savage Nation. Hello.
Hi. Thank you, John, for taking my call.
Very well.
The appropriate term, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. is anger babies, ANGER babies. And, it almost reminds me of how they brainwashed children against their parents in pre-World War II Germany and during that period. And so the real racism falls back on them. So my solution is ship them back.
Anna, the language you were hearing that we were beeping out, would you want to hear children in your neighborhood using that type of language?
Absolutely not. And here's the crux of it. The left is desperate, and this is why they're trying to come up with anything they can to change the narrative. But the American people are all the wiser for it. Thank God for people like you, Dr. Savage, and many others who do this country a great service on a daily basis.
Anna, do you have any friends with children, Anna?
Yes, I do.
If you were over their house and you saw one of their little children, 9 or 10 years old, and said, "Oh, how are you, little Jimmy?" and they turned around and said, "Oh, yeah, well, blank you," and the parents just sat there, wouldn't you question, who's teaching these children? Who's enforcing any discipline? That you don't allow children to use language like that, Anna?
Please.
Or would you sit there and say, well, I guess it's their house. They can talk any way they want?
No, I would not. This is our country.
Of course you would not. You know what? Thank you for the call. It has nothing to do, folks. This is not even about it is about our country, but you're stepping too far. This is unacceptable in any country. This is unacceptable in France. This is unacceptable in China. This should be unacceptable anywhere. It's not. Yes, it is about the United States. If this is any way they're going to act, are these the type of people that we want to have coming in here? Is this what they teach kids in Mexico? That when they're 8 years old, you start swearing at adults like that? My God, no wonder they don't follow the law. No wonder there's such high unemployment. No wonder there's so much crime. Boy, if they teach them that type of language, is that the message we should be getting? Horrendous. 1-855-400-SAVAGE. Now, Quentin Tarantino in the news. We're going to play you some of the sound. He has doubled down, made it worse. So insulting to police. So insulting to everyone, actually. Everyone. Despicable comments by him. We're going to get to that. The latest on ISIS. Again, this is John DePietro sitting in for Dr. Michael Savage. This is the Savage Nation.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage.
My Savage Nation is sponsored by SwissAmerica.com, the only company I trust to protect my wealth with gold and silver. Call 800-BUICO.
You're listening to the Savage Nation. This is John DePietro sitting in for Dr. Michael Savage. Welcome to join. Call into the program at 1-855-400-SAVAGE. Remember our website, michaelsavage.com. Well, as I mentioned, the battle for illegal immigration continues. The argument of whether or not to deport certainly has been on the front burner. See, at least for the Republicans. At least people who want to follow the law. So then you have this group that comes out. And I want you to keep in mind, they're trying to win you over. This message, as much as they try to pretend this is aimed at Donald Trump, it's really aimed at everyone. This is a video just released from Deport Racism. Features two young voices you're going to hear, two young children. And they teach them they're swearing in the video, they're mocking Americans. Would you want these types of people moving into your neighborhood? Let's hear a little clip of the video.
Hola, Donald Trump, screaming, "Get out of my country!" Republicans use offensive words.
So here's a few of our own.
F*** you, racist.
Wow. Listen to that. Terrible. And then they dance on from there. That boy's probably 11 years old. Let's go to some of your phone calls. Line 4, Dan is listening on KSFO. Dan, hello, you're on the Savage Nation.
John, thanks very much. Let's, aside from the messages these people are trying to make here, I want to talk about the video itself. What I want to know, and I'm a parent, I've got 2 daughters. I want to know the names of these parents. I want to know the names, not the organization, the names of each and every individual of this organization who put this forward. This is child